I ended free grandma daycare the day my mother cut my son's curls off. I ended free grandma daycare the day my mother cut my son's curls off. So my son Eli is 4, and he's got these curls, like actual ringlets down past his shoulders. The kind strangers stop us in the grocery store about. He loves them. He asks me to do the swirl thing with the brush every morning. Whatever, he's 4, it's his head. My mom watched him 3 days a week while I worked, free, which she reminded me about constantly. Do you know what daycare costs now? Yeah, mom, I do. That's why I'm standing in your kitchen at 6 a.m. She hated the hair, not like, mildly. She brought it up every single time. He looks like a little girl. People are going to think you can't afford a barber. Your father would have never allowed it. I told her about 6 different ways that we weren't cutting it, and she'd go, okay, okay. In that voice, that means she's just waiting. So I get there Thursday around 5 p.m. Eli's sitting at the table coloring, and I honestly didn't recognize the back of his head. It was gone, not trimmed. Buzzed on the sides, this little short flat top like a tiny insurance salesman. He didn't turn around. He just kept coloring. I said, what did you do? My mom's at the sink, not even drying her hands. She goes, oh, don't start. He looks handsome. He looks like a boy. I told you no. I told you probably 15 times. And I'm his grandmother. Somebody had to. Eli finally looks up and his eyes are all puffy and he says, Mommy, I told her I didn't want to. Like he was confessing something. Like he thought he was in trouble. I got him in the car. I was shaking so bad I sat in her driveway for a minute before I could back out. And in the rear view he keeps touching the top of his head with his palm over and over. My mom called that night, not to apologize. She wanted to know if I'd seen how nice it looked once it settled. I said, I'm done. I'm not bringing him back. She laughed. She actually laughed. Okay, and who's watching him, Kayla? I'll figure it out. With what money? And there it is. That's the whole thing right there. That's why she did it. She knew I couldn't leave. So I put him in the center on Route 9, $290 a week. I picked up Saturdays at work and I dropped my car insurance to liability and we ate a lot of rice. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it wasn't tight because it was awful, but he liked it there. He came home talking about a kid named Marcus. My mom went around the family with it. My aunt called to tell me I was punishing an old woman over hair. My brother said, it grows back, dude. Every one of them said it grows back. Not one of them said he asked her not to. Then about 3 weeks in, my cousin sends me a screenshot. My mom had posted the pictures. Not one picture, like 9 of them. Before shots, during shots, Eli in the chair at her friend Denise's salon with a cape on and his face all red and wet. She'd captioned it, finally, grandma's boy. And I zoomed in on the one where he's crying and there's a woman's hand on his shoulder holding him down in the chair. Denise had a whole appointment booked, 2 o'clock on the schedule with his name on it. My mom made that appointment 11 days before she did it. She was just waiting for a Thursday. I sent that screenshot to nobody. I just called her. She picked up all warm like nothing. Are we done being dramatic? I said, you booked it 11 days ahead. Long pause. Then, well, I knew you'd say no. Right, so you knew. Kayla, it's hair. I said, it's not the hair. He asked you to stop and you had somebody hold him down. She got quiet, then she went hard, the way she does. You will not keep my grandson from me over this. I'm his grandmother. I have raised children I have earned. You had one job. He was crying and you kept going. Every child cries at a haircut. He wasn't crying about the haircut. And she goes, real cold. Fine. Then when do I see him? I said, when his hair's back.